Yo, what's up, guys? It's Ryan, and Thanksgiving week was a little busy, so sorry for not posting anything. But we're going to be doing a project walkthrough for the song A More Convenient Season off of the new EP. And we're just going to walk through the track and look at how how it was kind of put together. Um, so, obviously, or to start, there's only really four sections. I've got this keyboard Rhodes. I've got the drums. I've got the bass. I've got the guitar, and then this one small little effect. Um, so it's actually a really simple arrangement if you don't count having like 30 guitar tracks. Simple. Um, but anyways, let's just jump in and break down the mix. So the first thing, I'll just go from top to bottom. The first thing is this Rhodes right here. So for this, I'm using Lounge Lizard, which is probably my favorite plugin, honestly. Uh, it sounds great. I'm using this preset. It's one Bank One preset 15, and then I have this EQ right here, taking out the lows and the highs with a little scoop in the middle, just to fit the mix a little bit better. And then to get kind of that rolling sound on the keys, I have the notes being played in kind of like a more human fashion. So not everything is landing on the one of the beat. It's kind of sloppy, honestly. But it sounds way more human. And this instrument was 100% just to fill up space, honestly. So if we listen to it with, and if we take it away, it's just super empty without it. And kind of what it's doing the entire time that it is playing is just following the chords that the guitars are kind of insinuating or outlining, and it just does that the entire way through. Super simple, super easy, but pretty effective, honestly. So next we've got Superior Drummer, which is just the drum tracks. Oh. So as you can see, this kind of gets broken down into all of these different channels: kick, snare, snare 2, hat, toms, room, and room far. And all of them have their own sort of processing on them. So for the kick, I've got the Superior Drummer like plugin so I can write the MIDI. Then I've got Virtual Mix Rack. It's just got this sort of EQ and this compressor. I'm not going to go into super specific details because like it's just an EQ and a compressor. And then I've got a little bit of a boost with this just EQ8. I didn't want to use the extra CPU to use a Virtual Mix Rack EQ. Then I've got the snare. Sounds pretty good to me. Have this sort of EQ, this sort of, not this. We have this sort of EQ and this sort of compressor. Without it, just adds some punch and high end. Have this EQ that cuts out a little bit of mids and takes out the lows just to clean it up a little bit. Some reverb just to give it some extra room. I should also mention that everything in Superior Drummer is getting sent to the reverb channel, some amount. So someone's at the door, but I'm not expecting anything, so I'm just gonna not answer it. And the reverb channel is just a Valhalla Room, these settings, with the low end kind of cut out. And if we solo the room channel, You can kind of hear that it's just the drums really being used for this one. For snare 2, I've just got this EQ and Valhalla Room with a super short decay and really low mix. For the hat, got this virtual mix rack, this compressor, and this EQ, and then some Valhalla Room because I love me some reverb. For the toms, I've got this EQ and this compressor. Again, I'm not going to go through them in super detail, but if you want to have the exact settings, you can pause it. For the room mic, I've just got some compression on it, some super light compression. Send to the reverb channel as well. And for the room far, I've actually got nothing, but I do have it getting sent to the reverb. And then on the Superior Drummer group, I've got this thing, and it just is compressing it, honestly, a little bit more. Just adds a little bit of punch. And that's really, honestly, it for Superior Drummer. Then I just wrote the parts, and like, there's not a whole ton to explain about that because it's super repetitive in this song, except for the fill like right here, like that right there. Is like the most complicated thing in it, and it's not really even that complicated. This is just like a pop rock song, honestly. For the bass, there's nothing really going on each particular channel except for apparently this one. So I've just got this EQ boosting some highs, cutting some lows, and kind of cutting some mids as well, for that channel. For this one, I've got this high pass. Because it's kind of it's in a transition sort of zone. So right here, it would make a little more sense. So I didn't want like the sub bass to come in until like this hit, but I wanted bass notes, if that makes any sense. So I just cut out some of the bass. For the next one, no EQ, no nothing. And then for this one, I've got, for the breakdown section, or not. There's nothing in this. Oh wait, it's right here. This is where I cranked the gain on the Kemper, and just kind of went to town. So I cut out some of the high end because there was a hiss. And then yeah, on the entire channel, I've got a compressor and then this EQ, which takes out basically all the high end, which is kind of counterintuitive when I have an EQ boosting the high end on that one bass. Or, yeah, on that one bass. But, whatever. For the guitars, obviously there's a lot of guitars. My signal chain for this is kind of nuts. It goes from my guitar through my pedal board into a Kemper into this. And it sounds awesome, obviously. And I've just got layers and layers and layers of stuff. So for this, I'm just going to go through these super fast because a lot of it comes from my pedals, honestly. So I'm just going to go through them very quickly. For this sound, I've got some reverb on it. And it just kind of drones through the back of most of the song. And then I've got auto pan, so it kind of swirls around a little bit. Then I've got this audio track with nothing in it because I'm a professional. Then I've got this, which doesn't have any processing on it at all. I just took it straight from the Kemper. Got this, no processing. This, no processing. This, no processing. So I have a feeling that a lot of these actually don't have anything. There's this higher, like, washy sort of sound. I took the lows out just to clean it up, and then on this it's the same EQ. And that kind of warbly thing is tremolo from a pedal. Then there's this, just some pretty high mix Valhalla Room for some reason. This with nothing. This, nothing. Then the next kind of batch of guitars is right here, which is just another one of those droney sounds, but there's nothing on this one because it kind of fit its purpose pretty well by itself. And there's this, which just has a little bit of reverb on it to add some space because it went from like 10 guitar tracks down to 3, so it needed a little extra. And then for these solos, just got some reverb on this, just some reverb. If I had to guess, it's the same reverb on all of these. For this, had some compression because it did like a weird thing with the levels. And then Valhalla Room, just to add some more space. So compressor to level it out, Valhalla Room for some reverb. And then it goes into this section and these new guitars. Which just scream. It's a Kemper profile for a Dumble Overdrive Special, so it's just got so much gain. And I've only got this EQ taking out some low end, and that's it for those. There's this one, which kind of was just a transition thing with a swell, so there's like no low end with a bit of reverb. Then these guitars come in right here. Yeah, so this one just has some reverb on it, and this utility, which I'm honestly not even sure is getting used for anything, but I don't want to take it out just in case it is, you know. And then this one comes in, which is just another Dumble Overdrive Special paired with this. Just to add some movement to the parts, instead of just like hitting on the strong beats. Then we have these reverse things down here. Which just have a bunch of reverb, 18.5 seconds of decay, and this EQ taking out all the low end. And that's the entire track. Or the master has this compression on it. It's basically just turning up the volume and adding some punch. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a super simple project. It basically just came from having a ton of layers stacked on top of each other and the guitars. Um, but yeah, if you got any questions about any of this, let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Hopefully. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have an awesome day. Bye.